that we have to supplement between our major tournaments, and each one is a little bit different. This one in particular is the most different because, as the name tells you, it is in fact evolving. So the premise basically of this battle royale is there's a set of flags it started out with. And every week, whoever comes in last place is the person who is eliminated. But they also get to add a flag to the mix. So every week, it's something new, something different.
It's a very interesting way to have a tournament, I think. And I wonder who came up with the idea of starting with the magical boomerang?
I have no idea. I have inquired thusly about it. 2 people have pretended to stake the claim for it. I don't know who to believe. The only thing I know for sure is that it wasn't Mr. Cab because he believes in the same thing I do, so I know it wasn't Cab. That's what I can tell you.
Well, so far, all of our runners have found I think it was a large secret early on, 86 rupees, and we found a medium secret, so not hurting for money early on.
No, and the interesting thing about that large secret is it was right on their start screen. So it's a secret that if you come across something fairly early that you want to buy and you've lost money somewhere, you could always hit the retry button and have the money and know what to avoid. So it's definitely something interesting to keep in mind as you see Smash doing it right now.
Looks like Mr. Cap's found 7.
And of note, the dungeon layouts are going to be random. We don't know whether we're going to get first quest, second quest, or shapes. So that is something to keep in mind here. Although with this sort of layout here that Mr. Cab is in, that kind of looks like second quest 7 to me.
Is it just me, or did those blobs roll down on health?
They potentially could have because our enemy health is at plus or minus 4 HP. So depending on what things rolled down, even though we make fun of the magical boomerang because of the meme, because of that, starting with a boomerang when there are enemies that are easily killable is actually very good as long as those enemies aren't Dark Nuts or Wizrobe. So yes, we give it crap, but at the same time, it could be a huge boon depending on how the HP rolls.
However, with those blue Wizrobes, looks like 7's going to be we'll come back to that.
7's usually we'll come back to that. And I see you in chat there trying to make horrible puns, and I'm not going to fall for the bait.
He's trying to be good for a little bit.
I'm really not. I'm mostly saying that because it's Crim giving me crap.
Now, we saw the book in the shop over on Mr. Cap's side, and the book, Possible Boomstick, is one of the flags.
So seeing that book in the shop does confirm 100% that we are, in fact, on a Boomstick seed, as well as the ladder being the Armos item. That is fantastic. Because that's going to mitigate a lot of the issues you'll run into in some of the dungeons, ladder blocks being the huge thing that are very hard to work around sometimes. So getting an early ladder, always nice to see.
I've seen Moat Ganons. We don't want to see that. Well, they don't want to see that. We kind of do.
Let's say, what do you mean I don't want to see Schadenfreude?
So Homer ended up buying a candle, whereas I think it was Fryteeth managed to find a candle.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing. That goes back to what we talked about at the beginning with Homer exploring around the start screen that they had and going ahead and retrying to get the money. So he had the money to buy the candle when he came across it. Fry Teeth may have had as well. It is hard to keep track of 4 screens at once when you're looking at the money situation. But I am always a fan of being able to buy my candle as opposed to get it for free, because that means when you come across your take any's, you can guarantee yourself taking the hearts to get the white sword item, whatever it may be, or you can, steal a potion off of it.
And Fry Teeth just now grabbed the candle, so I may have been mistaken on which one it grabbed that. But since the book is confirmed the boomstick, I didn't catch how much the book was in the shop.
Well, it's going to be anywhere between 180 and 220 rupees, so budget accordingly. And I will tell you right now, considering that this BR is evolving, I am going to make a bunch of Pokemon jokes, just so you're all aware. And the question is, which Pokemon-themed book is going to be our boomstick? We'll find out later, although I'm pretty sure it's going to be Taming of the Sandshrew. I've got like 13 more.
So Saitan has seen the book and is only 1 rupee off of it. At this point in the game, how good would the boomstick be? Especially considering for Sci-Town not having any bombs right now.
Well, that's an interesting bit because you know where the book is, you know how much it's worth. If there was something additional on that, like if the book was going to be an atlas or something of that nature, or a translation for the old men, I would absolutely consider doing it. As is right now, there is no guarantee we're going to find ourselves a wand. So picking up the boomstick now when you have the money is a risky play, because the boomstick could be buried deep in that 7 we want nothing to do with. It could be buried in 9, or it could be on the floor in level 1 or level 2. You don't know. So ultimately, that is a how risky do you want to play your gambit when you do that?
Yeah, that would be 184 rupees for a future endeavor. And Homer and Mr. Cab have both found 5. Looks like Homer had left. So we might see why Homer left.
Lack of keys is kind of the big reason that we saw there. The one thing I did notice in that level 5 is he was killing Homer specifically here was killing red Darknuts very easily. So it seems as if they have rolled down on HP as well.
Yeah, Mr. Cap does not have that sword yet, so it'll be a lot more difficult to go through. And Fry Teeth picking up the red candle.
Now that's interesting. I mean, the candle was required to get that as the white sword item, but it was only 4 hearts. So just like Smash, who has the sword, Fry Teeth is going to have a repeatable source of damage in that red candle. It is going to make dungeon delving a little bit easier. Yes, you still can't kill Wizrobes and Darknuts, but you're really not going to want to do that either with the sword. So it's a good weapon to come across, especially early. So that way, when you come across a dungeon, you can try to do some more in it before having to go and dig for a sword.
Yeah, right now, Sci-Town is the only one of the 4 without a repeatable source of damage right now. Never mind.
You made a grave mistake with that assumption.
Okay, the last one, and Mr. Cab has just found that that ladder over there with the Armos.
Yeah, so the other thing to keep in mind with this particular flag set here is the fact that it is a 50-50 whether or not Ganon is required. You still need the 8 Triforces to enter. But don't be surprised if there is some gambling going on here with that 50-50 chance.
So we did see the magical sword over there. Question is, are they going to get anywhere near enough hearts to pull that? I know most of the time it doesn't come up, but seeing it early, it might be something in the back of the mind.
Yeah. One other thing to take a look at is we did have a Goma, potential Goma block here in this level 1 that Town is in, but it looks as if we have found a way around it.
I also found one of those elusive keys.
Yeah, so we did end up picking up a little bit of a clock here in this room in level 1. Turns out, Wall Masters, they decided they wanted to roll down a little bit.
Meanwhile, it looks like Homer is going to dig 6 over here.
Digging 6 this early is an interesting gambit here, but we do have the ladder on Smash's side, we do have the sword, we do have a candle, we have a couple of bombs. So it's not the worst place to be in here. Now, the question is going to be is, what are we on for first quest dungeons? Because we were on random, so we're pretty sure we're on second quest dungeons for at least level 7, 8, and 9. And that key position there, that's an interesting key position because that's a second quest position.
Nice one shot over there for Homer.
One of the best things you can see as a player is when you perfectly nail the bomb on the manhandler and it does die. Now, in this situation, we know it's going to because the boss HP is set to normal. But when all of the HP is set to random, one of the worst things is you dead shot hit your manhandler and it's just like, hi, I'm still here, how's it going?
Looks like the keys rolled up, though.
That's disgusting.
Now, just a note in case it wasn't said, the red bubble curse is swordless, so yeah, it's a nice dodge before that stairway for Homer to dodge all those red bubbles and keep his sword.
Well, we do have a map on Town side. We're on second quest full, everybody.
And Homer is picking up his second heart container in 6. And Fryteeth poking his head into 5.
Well, the good thing, at least from our perspective now, is we now know what we're looking at from dungeons. So this level 6 that Smashes in isn't as concerning knowing what the shape is. It's that weird, funky second quest level 6 shape that has no rhyme or reason. And that early ladder paying dividends here, as this is, in fact, a ladder block Triforce.
And with both heart containers, I believe that was everything out of 6.
Yep, second quest is a little bit of an interesting cat here because all the dungeons are second quest. Then your 2 items, your bonus item, basically your 2 dungeon items plus heart container, are going to be in level 4 as opposed to level 1 like they are in the first quest set of things. So every dungeon is going to have the 2 items plus the bonus item in 4 and the bonus item in 8.
Yeah, second quest I am not as familiar with.
Yeah, second quest is definitely fun. Speaking of fun, a 3-headed Gleeok we know is guarding the Triforce here for Homer, so he's going to go ahead and take the time to kill that. And I need to check something here. So bear with me for a second as I'm watching here.
Admittedly, I haven't seen a lot of bosses guarding Triforces in this randomizer, so this is This is a rare sight that I've seen, anyways.
Okay, no, I wasn't sure about the ring status. I wasn't sure if Homer had gotten a ring or not. I remember then Guyak heads only deal 3 3/8 of a heart of damage, which is why that was there. But I like what he did there. He came into the dungeon with full HP, so he opted to kill the Guyak with his full HP, so he utilized sword beams. And because it's a boss, as we find the recorder, because it's a boss, the Guyak's going to stay dead. The Triforce is just going to be there for when he comes back to it.
Nice. Also, those keys rolling up to 3 HP. I knew they rolled up, but good grief, those are beefy.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier that bulky man handles are a pain in the butt. Bulky keys are almost worse because every time you go underground, you're going to be having 4 of them. And if they roll above, as you said, they roll into the 3 HP range, that means the only ways you have to kill them are magic in one shot, are magic sword and silver arrows. You don't want to waste your silver arrows on them, and magic sword is, I may get it. Considering Heart Shuffle is on, there is a much higher chance of acquiring it here, but still, it's never something you want to see.
Yeah, Homer's on 8 hearts now, and Magic Sword rolls, what, 10 to 14, is it?
That would be correct.
So if Homer's seen it, that may be a thing that's considered, though we'll see. And Sci-Town is discovering just how beefy these keys are.
Yeah, I have had several encounters where I've run into dungeons like, oh yeah, I don't want to go underground because these keys are absolutely atrocious.
I just realized how rich this seed is. We have 3 of our runners over 230 rupees.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place to be, considering that the large secret isn't on the higher echelon of the numbers, because that's anywhere from 50 to 150 on the large secret side. So having an 86 large secret isn't really high on that sort of thing. But considering we found a couple of them and haven't had a whole lot to spend money on, it's definitely something to keep a look at. The question is going to be is, where do you prioritize that money? Do you prioritize it for the book, or do you prioritize it for a blue ring?
I wonder if they're holding on just to see which they find first, the wand or the red ring.
I mean, that's the thing is when you get to the level that we have here, is Smash going to go ahead and pick up that book? All of these runners are extremely capable, so they can, you don't necessarily want to be in a level 9 on 4 hearts, green tunic, but all of these runners are capable of doing that. So that's one of those things where you take a look and you try and figure out, okay, where do my priorities lie? Me personally, if this was me, I'm doing what Homer did right there, and I am 100% going for the book. And the reason I'm going for the book in this situation is because Heart Shuffle is on, which means you're going to be killing a lot more rooms because the regular items in the hearts are all jumbled together. So there's a higher probability, because of the amount of rooms that you're killing, that you find the red ring.
And also, you might have a higher than usual heart count because of the Heart Shuffle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That is another huge factor in that.
One other reason why I like the boomstick is it relieves the issue of bomb management. You don't have to worry about running out of bombs.
To a point, it does. The big thing with boomstick is it mitigates bomb management within the dungeons. You still have to worry about overworld bomb management because unless you hit something with the wand beam, you're never going to get the boomstick really to open up a cave for you. It's extremely hard to do. So bomb management is still a thing you need on the overworld, but not as much. It is mitigated heavily via the boomstick.
And is that a bow in one?
I mean, it very possibly could be.
Now, he said it is 50-50 on whether or not Ganon's required, but that's still going to the Ox.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's one of those things where if you know Ganon's 50-50, I'm sure in this case, bow, silvers, and a sword. You already have the sword. You found that you've got the silvers. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That being said, if you go into 9 and you're still on a silver arrow hunt, you're not staircase because you know whether or not you need to. So the 50-50 moment when you're exploring 9, depending on whether or not you already have what you're
Looks like right now we have Mr. Cap following in Homer's footsteps in 3, going to also go ahead, kill the Gleeok, and free that Triforce. Homer is in 7, has that recorder, so is going to take care of the Dig Dogger. That Dig Dogger didn't die to 1 bomb.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing is the mini Dig Doggers, normally they don't die to, they'll take 2 anyway, but the mini Dig Doggers are considered a regular enemy in the pool, whereas the big one that can't be harmed by anything is considered a boss enemy. So its HP is actually affected by the plus or minus 4.
Well, in this case, good thing they started with that boomerang.
Yes, that is one thing the boomerang can do is it can stall out the since I said Pokemon references, it can stall out the little Diglets there from the Dig Dogger. Also, one of my favorite tricks in this game, if you've never seen it, is the little mini Dig Doggers. If you kill one of them and then leave the room, all the others will go away too. So it's like you killed all 3 only for the price of killing 1.
Hey, 3-for-1 deals are pretty good. And, oh, there's the red bubble hit, so Homer is going to have to go swordless for a bit.
Not as hard to deal with as he does have the red candle. And speaking of swords, there's the white one.
Now just navigate around those 4 beefy keys.
Yeah. Up on the upper right-hand side, I want to point out that you saw Fried Teeth there for a minute hesitate on that bomb upgrade. Reason being, of course, is he had no bombs, but Boomstick is also a thing. So that's another thing with the money is do I want to, do I not want to? And I agree with what Fried Teeth did there. You had no bombs, you have no Boomstick, buy the bomb upgrade, 100% there.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to deal with the current problem, and Fried Teeth is still really close to being able to buy that Boomstick should he decide to later. Speaking of Boomstick, Mr. Cab now also has the book.
So as we said, you know, we've already come up with one thing. So Homer J. Smash picked up his copy of Taming of the Sand Shrew. Meanwhile, Mr. Cab, on the other hand, picked up his copy of Love in the Time of Corsola. I told you I had more.
You did.
So Scytown over here putting a masterful show on when it comes to dealing with these Wizzrobes, locked in a room with blue Wizzrobes, and able to get rid of pretty much all of them. His reward is only the map, so it's not the best, but having that map in level 7, especially second quest, is always good. more so when you get to the spiral center section, so you know where you are. But still, it's always nice to know, because unlike the first quest maps, a lot of these second quest maps, it's kind of hard to remember where you are.
Yeah, and those blue whiz robes, a pain to deal with. It looked like the health shuffle didn't do our runners any favors on that.
So unfortunate thing for Fried Teeth there is that seems to be a Goma block in that level 8 all the way up on Spectacle Rock. So good thing for Fried Teeth, he has the bow. Bad thing for Fried Teeth, we don't have arrows. For once, that wasn't me with the sound effects, everybody.
Hey, sometimes I have to voice what my co-commentator is thinking.
Yes, but the scary part of that means you're in my head.
Oh no, that's not a good place to be.
You brought yourself there. Okay, so we've had a request in chat for flags, and the quick summary of our tracker behind the scenes, Trenton. So punch that into your Zelda Randomizer, and it will give you a summary of
It looks like Mr. Cab is going to be set defensively for a while because they did find that red ring over in 5.
I mean, there's something to be said about a princess changing from the party dress to the butt-kicking dress and going to town, and that's exactly what happened.
It's going to be scary when they find that butt-kicking sword a little bit later.
I mean, I think there's at least one other person here who will agree with me on we barely trust Mr. Cab with the wooden sword. We really don't trust Mr. Cab with anything else sharp.
I mean, we trust him with the cab, right?
I mean, potentially, but I mean, I don't trust this is just me, and take it as you will. I don't trust Mr. Cab with a sword, but then again, I don't trust a Mets fan with anything sharp.
Right now, Fried Teeth is over in. I believe this one was Health R Us.
Yes, it definitely was the little bit of love level. So, real quick down. Speaking of Mr. Cab, we've been giving him a little crap here, but this is one of my favorite ways to fight beefy blue Darknuts. Is they're kind of giant knights in armor, and they're severely allergic to water. So you have ladder, you just stand on ladder and stab, and well, they can't harm you.
Why couldn't they be more like their red brethren? You know, the ones made out of tissue paper that die in one hit.
I wish I had the answer to that one. Unfortunately, I don't.
trying to remember, what were our recorder settings for this?
Let me check the summary. Hold on. My summary says, no recorder to new locations. So basically, when I say that in the summary is, there are a couple of different settings that you can have with the recorder here in the randomizer. There is, when dungeon locations have been shuffled, you can opt to have the recorder take you to their new locations. Of course, the recorder works in the vanilla game of, you've got the Triforce. From that place, you can record her back there. So if you can record her to new locations, you'll record her to where they are. The other feature option is you can record her to unbeaten dungeons as opposed to beaten dungeons. If that flag is on, it definitely makes the recorder a much, much better tool. That is definitely not on in this scenario. So recorder is just sort of there as an anti-dig dog or a musical device.
Nothing too exciting this time on it.
I mean, there's still the name that tune function, but I'm watching this with the sound off because no one. I don't want to hear myself in my back echo, so I couldn't tell you what the name that tune is.
Yeah, well, you recognize you don't want to hear yourself more than once.
I barely want to hear myself once.
Now I actually want to hear it. Crim's saying it's Final Fantasy victory theme, and I'd love me some Final Fantasy.
I mean, I absolutely do. Final Fantasy is one of the first games I ever played growing up, so it has a place near and dear to my heart. Also, Cab finding out that the recorder isn't free because we do have helpful hints on. Gotta love it.
It looks like Cab had already left 3.
I mean, we do have the Triforce from 3 marked on the tracker, so we have it. It's an easy-ish place to get back to because 3 was right on Candle Row, so that's going to be one of those. We'll figure it out later. But Cab also has the recorder because he killed a dig dogger, so, I mean, it is what it is.
Fair enough, fair enough. Sci-Town also has just gotten the Triforce out of 3, so it looks like Sci-Town has a Triforce lead, but definitely doesn't have quite the power level, considering he's still on Wooden Sword. So it's going to
No. I would actually give the advantage right now to Fryteeth, simply because Fryteeth, 1, has the bow, 2, knows that arrows are required to continue to progress on in level 8, and that is the biggest piece of information.
That's definitely good information one. I think Homer's got a bit of a power advantage with that white sword, considering we know there's a few tanky enemies, like the Dark Nuts as well as those Wizrobes.
Also, very interesting information from Fryteeth, getting a hint that said Gleeok returns with the wand. Gleeok returns, of course, being level 8 because of the boss in level 8 in the vanilla First Quest game, so that is a fantastic bit of information.
That would be nice for some extra firepower. However, Fryteeth is not one of the runners that chose to get the book, so it won't have the boomstick. But considering they're on wood sword, that's still a nice firepower upgrade.
I mean, absolutely. And considering the book is at a pretty easy to get location, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we do see Fry Teeth pick up the book. However, if he keeps running into door repairs, all bets are off.
It looks like the door repair is 20 rupees.
So just a vanilla door repair as Saitan goes ahead and upgrades his tunic to the much shinier red variety.
Oh, this could be interesting. So Homer has gotten their Triforce out of one. I don't think they got the bow.
Well, the same thing can be said for Sai.
Oh, true.
But yeah, no, just taking a look right now, and we're talking about advantage here. Fry Teeth, again, is definitely huge in the lead, and knowing the information about needing the arrows for 8 also has stumbled across level 4, which none of our other runners have stumbled across. We know there's going to be 2 items in here, and as was mentioned in chat, if Fry Teeth stumbles across the silver arrows, that saves an arrow purchase, and that's huge.
Okay, so Smash did get the bow, and now has the wand hint.
I mean, for 14 rupees with helpful hints on, that's the hint everyone's going to get.
Step over the water to reach the heart container, however...
I mean, considering Heart Shuffle is on, that hint is basically French vanilla at this point. I mean, yes, it's true. It exists. We all know it exists. Yes, and for those of you who are watching along with us live here on twitch.tv/randomania3, there is 4 screens going on, and there are only so many of us that we can keep track of. So if you happen to see something that we miss on the tracking side of things, please go ahead and point out in the chat, and we'll do our best to get it corrected.
These races, sometimes it's hard enough keeping track of 2. And there's a mugger for Fry Teeth.
The debate is, do I get rid of the heart, do I get rid of the rupees, or do I just up an A? Fry Teeth opting to up an A, and I would be remiss if I didn't say right now, nice.
Yeah, Fry Teeth and Homer both looking in the range to consider a magical sword if they're in the area again. Though I think it would be much better for Fry Teeth considering he's still on wooden sword.
Yeah, absolutely. Homer did try when he was around there at 10 hearts, so we know the magical sword isn't going to be at 10 hearts. And yeah, this Patra that Homer is at right now, going to be a little bit easier for him because, hey, white sword as opposed to Homer, which is, or Fry Teeth, which is wood sword. And there you can see the recorder being put to use as Mr. Cab did have the Triforce out of level 6, so did whistle and took him to the vanilla location. Now that's actually an interesting mechanic, and hey, Fry Teeth with a huge hint, silvers are in fact in level 4.
Well then.
And as I was saying with the recorder, it's actually a bit of an interesting thing when you can whistle to old dungeon locations because it means once you get the Triforce out of level 4, you can check the raft spot without needing the raft because you still whistle there. So there is potential, and I still have yet to see this happen, of having a raft-required seed but have it be raftless.
That would be funny to see. So, something the chat just brought up that I kind of agree with here is that this seed has been a bit key starved. I don't think I've seen our runners have more than 2 keys at a time.
And that's something to keep in mind with the boomstick mitigating a lot of the potential need for bomb management. Key management and resource management in general is still a huge factor. The one big thing to note here as we find a raft in level 4, so much for my wish.
I was about to bring that up.
is this is second quest level 9 we're going to be dealing with, which is exponentially smaller than first quest level 9. So the payoff in second quest is you have to deal with the monsters that are 7 and 8, but then you have level 9 and it's like, oh, this is a cakewalk.
So Fryeteeth went ahead and grabbed that Triforce and is now going back in, where Homer is still digging.
Yeah, no reason not to dig here in level 4. It is 3 items with Heart Shuffle on, and we haven't seen any of the staircase items. We've just seen the raft as the floor item. We know by a hint that the silvers are in here, which, you know, kind of a big deal.
Yeah, even if Ganon's not required, with how some of these enemies have rolled, might be helpful. Oh, shoot. Fryeteeth found the shoot room.
I mean, there's bound to be some at some point. And the other thing to keep in mind here as we're talking about all these second quest things is that you may have seen a little bit, but one of my favorite things is second quest doors are on, which of course basically means walk through walls.
Oh, I don't know if that was a Y-force for Mr. Cab.
I mean, level 1 is one of those where, interesting. And this is what I was talking about when I came to the 50-50 of Ganon, is in a situation like that, do you take the gamble? Now, unfortunately for Mr. Cab in this situation, we know that the bow is going to be required to get through level 8, so he's going to have to return at some point and pick that up, unless, of course, we missed it being picked up. But you know, that's a gamble that in this situation a lot of people would potentially take.
Fryeteeth able to take down the Patra, so there's the raft.
Also, for those of you who might be watching this not live on the YouTube broadcast, just note that I have got the entire Twitch chat talking about my use of exponentially smaller and whether or not exponentially is used for acceleration, logical math, and all that. So just know that you are missing this fascinating conversation that I started because of a turn of a phrase.
Oh, that Patra was in a terrible place for Fryeteeth.
I mean, that Patra is in a terrible place no matter who you are.
But Homer at least has the red ring to deal with it. Actually, when you're looking at left and right, you're looking at the haves and the have-nots when it comes to rings.
I mean, if they liked it, they should have put a ring on it.
Oh, this is a dilemma. Let's say, do you go north or do you go west?
Apparently, per the fact that the door is open, we are not going to have a go west, young Link.
how many Patras were in 4?
Yes.
And we have the power bracelet. So we had Raft, Bracelet, and Silvers are somewhere in 4.
I would put money on probably guarded by a Patra.
They've already killed 3. Well, or was it 2 and bypass a third? There can't be more Patras.
Never underestimate the ability of Patras.
We have Patra Block Raft, a Patra Block Power Bracelets, which is what Fryteeth is in right now.
Yeah, that room is not fun.
That's what potions are for.
Doesn't make the room any more or less fun. But there are 2 things to be thankful for. There's no fireballs, either kind.
Well, I was going to say, this is where that white sword advantage for Homer just brings out a bit of a lead there.
Yeah, absolutely. There is something to be said for skill in being able to kill enemies in certain rooms. But there's also something to be said for, sometimes you just have the more powerful weaponry, and that's what you need. But yeah, white sword, red ring versus Patra, as opposed to wood sword, green tunic. White sword, red ring has the advantage every time.
Yeah, Homer's definitely seen the Gleeok with the Silvers hint. And there's that bomb upgrade, but not enough to afford it yet.
Yeah, bomb upgrade on Homer's side is a bit more on the interesting side because he did get the wand in 8 hint, and he did pick up his copy of Taming of the Sand Shrew, so it's not as big of a deal for Homer as it was when Fry picked up his in 8.
Yeah, because also Fry had no bombs, whereas Homer is sitting at 6 right now. So Homer's not lacking for bombs right now. Oh, that is a rough spot for Psytown.
That is absolutely awful, but more importantly for Smash, we have the full and complete tour of level 4, but in the letter D, we found the accoutrement for it. And yes, Krim, I did attempt to read A Tale of Two Skitties since we're talking about that in chat, but I still had 2 more people to name Pokemon books for, and that was going to be one of the ones I named off, but since you want to break that one out, yes, A Tale of Two Skitties is a thing.
Oh, I'm kind of nervous for Fryteeth over here.
Yeah, that is like super scary.
Alright, so Fryteeth has the Triforce, has the Silvers, has the Raft, has the Power Bracelet, and has gotten the heck out of Dodge.
I mean, you got what you came for there. No, Krim, the 4th book was not, and I didn't have the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I had the Adventures of Huckleberry Finnia.
Is Mr. Cap gambling?
Signs point to probably.
Because they did get the bow. They've bought arrows. They must got in and out of 4 without me, without us noticing, or at least without me noticing, because yeah, I'm not seeing any of the items from 4 on their tracker.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where how much are you willing to gamble? Again, with the potential of 50-50 Ganon being on, then, you are definitely willing to gamble. However, Cab may have just left for some bumps.
Okay.
But since we've gotten on the topic, chat, I will go ahead and open the floor up to you. If you have any other good Pokemon-themed book puns that you want to go with, go ahead and please let us know, and I will do my best to address them all when we get to books. I will say, though, that one of them may have been picking up the Broadway score for Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, then.
I love this. Chat already hooking me up with the Primates of Wrath and the Catcher in the Rhydon. I love it. So Smashy in 8, Fryteeth in 7, Cab and Scytown both in 4.
Have we found 2 yet?
We have not found level 2 yet.
I'm feeling Power Bracelet locked on that.
I mean, statistically speaking, it makes the most sense.
That Vire with the jukes on Fryteeth there.
Hey, some of them have moves. Scytown has some silver arrows. Cab has some silver arrows. So everybody at least has that portion of the puzzle completed.
Wait, did that bugger say Linkle guards the compass?
Entirely possible. A lot of the hints that you see here in the randomizer are in fact hints that were suggested by the community back during some of the earlier development times. So a lot of the things you see here are things that the community itself has suggested, and there is always an open forum. If you have any ideas for things that should be in the randomizer, please note they need to be sort of generic things, no pandering to anybody or anything. All the things that are in there now that are quote-unquote pandering to people are staying in there for posterity a lot of the time, but for the most part, they're going to sort of keep the rest of that out. And all hail, please salute our holiness, Lord Banana.
I'm ashamed. I forgot we hadn't found it yet. The other half was I kind of assumed it was in 9.
I mean, at this point, it was probably either in 2 or 9. So, I mean, statistically speaking, you weren't incorrect.
So this means the any key is either in 2 or 9.
Well, we don't know the third item in 8 either, unless it was a heart container that I missed. So yeah, this is an interesting time, interesting crossroads here. We're about an hour in, 55 minutes in, so round up to an hour, we've already heard the no math things here. And we've got sort of very different locations for different people. Mr. Cab is still missing the Triforce out of 2 and 8. Same thing with Psytown. So they're sort of on this weird, how do I want to go about this journey? Fryteeth and Homer, on the other hand, still have a couple more Triforces to get. They still need to get the Triforce out of 5. But they both have the Raft out of 4, which is required to find level 9. Meanwhile, you've got Psytown and Cab still digging for said last item in 4.
It looks like Cab's still looking for 2 items, whereas Psytown's looking for 1.
I mean, that is true. The power blade is up there in that corner. I mean, in the room that Cab is in right now.
And Fryteeth has the magical sword.
So, opting to sort of not gamble on not needing the item in 7, which from Fryteeth's perspective is actually a fantastic gamble because he already has bow, already has silvers, already has ladder, already has raft. He knows the wand is in 8. It's the only other item he would potentially be looking into. And only with 29 rupees, there's really no reason to go dig for that wand. So at this point, if you're Fryteeth, you're in Triforce and Go mode. You now have the upgrade you needed to your offense with that magic sword. I don't disagree with that, leaving 7 at all. Fantastic play from my perspective here, although he does have to be careful the Lionels don't kill him.
And that was a power bracelet lock 2.
It was the power bracelet spot by the Forest Fairy Fountain.
Definitely a stroke of good luck for Fryteeth that that mags only required 11 hearts.
Yes, and in case you wanted even more Patras, this level 2 is going to take care of you.
We had enough of them in 4. Get them out of here. Also, Homer finding the scrap metal in 5.
And also immediately finds the Triforce as it was in the exact same room as the staircase item. So Homer now only needing the Triforce is out of levels 2 and 8.
Now, Fryteeth left 2. I don't know if it was just to heal or if they were key blocked.
Well, the Patra did do a number, so money says it was just a heal.
But that's something that all of our runners are going to have to keep an eye on while they go through these last couple of dungeons is keys have still been scarce. And we still don't know where that any key is.
Yeah, I mean, Cab especially is going to have to be careful here. Only having the 1 key that he just picked up and 0 bombs. So is going to have to get lucky here when it comes to getting a bomb drop off of a potential bomb dropping enemy. At least the other 3 runners, at least currently, can force a bomb if they need one.
Also, we have a bit of left-right divergence again. Both runners on the left in 8, whereas we have Fryteeth and Psytown over in 2.
I mean, this is a Zelda game, so we like our symmetry.
Symmetry and divergence. We get to have both.
Something for everybody here on the Randomania family of networks.
I think we're finding where the keys have been hiding.
They're all in level 2.
Friday's going to go ahead and grab that heart container, probably because of being on Green Tunic.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You know, you see the heart container, you saw him think about it for a minute, like, do I really want to deal with these keys? Then had the, oh, wait, aha, I have magic sword moment, and just went ahead and picked it up. And I do agree with that exactly with why you said, because being on Green Tunic, getting up to 12 hearts means going into a Ganon fight at full health, you can fully tank 2 hits of Ganon hugging you. And if you happen to stumble across the 13th heart, meaning then at full health, you can fully tank 3 hits of Ganon touching you. And that may be the difference between surviving and not. And there is the 13th heart.
That puts the any key in either 8 or 9, doesn't it?
I think so. You're asking me to remember a lot of things.
Hey, I'm making you work tonight.
Yes, you've made me break out my list of Pokemon book puns.
Hey, that one was on you.
I mean, you gave me a thing called, it said Battle Royale is evolving, and I couldn't push B to cancel, so the next best thing I could do was make puns.
But Sandshrew is an unevolved Pokemon.
Well, his taming of the Sandslash just doesn't work.
Fair enough.
So Smash needs to go ahead and find level 2 now as he finds the Triforce in 8. That's an interesting location for the Triforce, as it's very close to where you need to go, where you start, but you need to take the long way to get to it because it's level 8. Also, chat chiming in with more Pokemon-themed books here. For those of you watching on YouTube, we've got Furret Gump and the Articuno of War. I will say, though, that so far, nobody has hit on my favorite one.
It's actually something I find interesting on this race. Even though they've checked a decent part of the power bracelet spots, we still haven't found 9.
No, we did find 9. 9 is raft blocked on the coast.
Oh. I must have missed it.
I missed it too. Chat pointed it out to me, so don't feel bad. Lord of the Flygons is a good one down in chat. Still not my favorite Pokemon-themed fun book.
Patras. Why did it have to be Patras?
Because Fred won't program Patrobes into the code. Patrobes, of course, being the Patra Eye with blue Wizrobes rotating around it.
Don't give him that idea!
I've been giving him that idea for years now, and he still hasn't implemented it.
Also, Mr. Cap did go ahead and pick up Lord Banana.
As he well should. I still don't trust him with sharp objects.
Speaking of which, next time I go to the store, I need to get more bananas.
I think they were on sale up here this week, although that might have been grapes. I can't remember. It was a bunch of something. We have even more Pokemon books in chat, which we'll get to in a second. Smash has found his last dungeon, level 2. And we have the Houndour of Hyrule. I counted with the Houndour of the Baskervilles. And we also have Donphan Quixote. Do you have any you want to contribute to this fascinating literary discussion, Dark Shadows?
Not right offhand.
Wait, he's putting me on the spot for puns. Why is he doing this?
Exactly.
See, are you more of a fan of the comedy Pokemon movies, like Geodude, Where's My Carbink?
Carbink is a Pokemon I'm not exactly familiar with.
It was from X and Y.
That would be why. My favorite gen was Gen 2, the Gold and Silver.
I mean, you're not wrong there. My favorite Pokemon of all time does come from that. But we're talking Zelda here. We can do all kinds of Pokemon discussion later if we want. Like when someone buys the book again. I still have more. Trust me.
And Psytown is back in 1.
I mean, that's good because he needs the bow, and he's kind of exhausted all the rest of his options, so the bow is in here. We know this.
And Fryteeth is just getting mobbed by those bubbles. Ooh, ring.
Ooh, shiny. I like shinies.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Absolutely. But yeah, Homer now going to be continuing his path through level 2. Cab still needs to go back and get the stuff out of 2 and 8. The unfortunate thing for Cab is going to need that raft out of 9 because I did get the raft block I requested, just not in the spot I wanted.
I think the race for first is going to come down between Homer J. Smash and Fryteeth. They both have everything they need. Smash is ahead by 1 Triforce, but Fryteeth has a sword advantage.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this is that in the Battle Royales, it's interesting because up until the finals, that's when you want to win. Everything else is just don't come in last. And yes, you always want to win for the bragging rights thing. But in a situation of the Battle Royales where it's just don't come in last and you won't get eliminated, it's definitely nice to feel like, hey, I've got this advantage, I've got this magic sword. But with the quality of the players here, all of these players have to be thinking, why has nobody hit done yet?
Yeah, I saw the list of names for this. I'm like, oh, those are some names.
They are some names. I will give you that.
The only thing scarier than racing against a high-tier player. Racing against a high-tier player that managed to get high-tier equipment.
I mean, I'm not saying, as a commentator, I try my best to remain as neutral as possible, but only one of these 4 has knocked me out of a tournament in a top 8 scenario, so I'm just going to say that out of the 4 of them, one of the 4 of them, I'm cheering. I don't necessarily want people to lose because that's bad. I want it to be as difficult as possible because I'm that guy. But in all interesting things, the first one of our runners with all 8 Triforce pieces is Psytown.
That's So I didn't see if they had the bow or not, but apparently 8 was not bow blocked.
Oh no, 8 was blow blocked. Blue Goma guarded the Triforce. It's 100% blow blocked. Saitown went back to 1 and got it.
Oh right, they were in there earlier. We were commenting on it.
Yep. Of course, unlike Smash and Fryteeth, Saitown has yet to discover where Level 9's location is.
This is going to be an interesting race. I mean, it already has been, but it's going to be an interesting race to 9.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong on there. Fryteeth going back into 8 to make his way through the meandering, spiraling passage that is this atrocity. Smash, with a compass, knows where to go in 2. Cab going back into 2 or finding 2 for the first time. Or, I don't know, math is hard and there's a lot of numbers on the screen.
I mean, there's only 42 numbers plus the timer 62 numbers. Maybe. Saitown's found 9.
Yeah, so now, of course, this is a scenario where normally we would be looking for a roar and a door. And apparently we're looking for level 9 apparently is randomly blackout now. So we're going to deal with that in a minute.
Blackout is a horrible game mode.
Blackout is great for challenge runs. I'll absolutely say that. But it definitely relies more on your audio cues. As I was saying, going into level 9, normally we would be looking for a roar and a door. But in this particular scenario, we don't know if Ganon is required or not. So we are still looking for that, but also we might just, oops, here's Zelda. And interestingly enough, I think we just ran into an oops, here's Zelda scenario, because even though we hit the blackout screen here, we have a dot done in our IRC chat with Saitown, an official SRL time of what you see down there, 1 hour and 11 minutes. So apparently it was, oops, here's Zelda.
As we see Mr. Cab getting wall mastered. So, I think both of our predictions were wrong there.
I mean, I'm fine with being wrong if that's the case, because there is nothing better than being in the middle of a conversation and having to break the conversation and, oh gosh, here she is! Like there, hey, oh gosh, here she is!
The Patra drew my attention. Another Patra.
Yeah, absolutely. And it turns out that, that ladder we picked up super early is kind of required for that path into Zelda. So Fryteeth's going to come in second with that official SRL time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 41 seconds. And since the 2 people who didn't pick up the book are the 2 people who have finished, I suppose that if people want, I can break out a couple more of the book puns I had ready to go for them. So for those who were wondering, which is probably all like 2 of you who were wondering about this, the 2 that I still had left in the tank for if Fryteeth and Saitown picked up the book. For Saitown, I specifically went with this one because it's a double entendre with Saitown being his name. I had American Psyduck.
I'm trying to figure out what that one's a pun of.
American Psycho? And the other one, and this is the favorite one that I've seen when it comes to book puns, that nobody guessed in chat, is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Weavile.
And we have a Fryteeth with us. GG's, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, there is happy music being played all around because you've stopped the Pokemon book puns.
And Homer has found Zelda from the north.
I mean, four-way entrance to a non-Ganon required Zelda, so there's that.
Everything else was required, though.
Yeah, it was. And we've got a side town as well.
Hey, good evening, guys.
So I'm just going to cede the floor and say, as Fryteeth mentioned, everything was required, and yeah, how was that seed?
Oh man, so I was so close to having this seed a lot faster with that bow in one. I was so close to getting it, and I ran away because my health, and I was almost ready to die right next to the Triforce, and so I gave up on it the first go round, and then with Red Ring and everything else by the second go round, I was like, forget about this. We're just charging in now. But that sucked, because if I had that bow that early, things would have been a little bit better. But I think I would have had to double dip 4 otherwise, because I was digging for a bow, and I knew that there was the only overworld locations left for Power Bracelet and Raft blocked, so I was gonna be in hunt mode for sure. But if I could have got that bow earlier, it'd have been a lot better.
Yeah, I got lucky. I found that bow block in 8 relatively early, and so when I got that hint that the silvers were in 4, I decided I was just going to dig those out instead of buying arrows, because at that point I think I still had hopes of a boomstick. And in the process of trying to find silvers, I found Raft and Power Bracelet.
Oh, I actually found silvers first, and then cleared the whole dungeon. My last room was the Power Bracelet, but at that point I was just going to get everything. I still needed the bow at that point, so it's just whatever.
Sounds like y'all's 4s were just as exciting as my 4.
Yeah, 45 patches later.
Mine sounded more like Fryteeth, though. I was looking for the silvers. I got the hint that silvers were in there. I found the Raft. I was just, digging that pretty early. That just kind of landed in my lap. And then found the Power Bracelet while I was looking for silvers. So that was kind of a lucky find.
It looked like y'all were key starved for most of that seed. Looked like
yeah. Oh my god.
I was clearing tons of rooms just looking for keys. Like even when I didn't need items, I was clearing rooms for keys.
Yeah, same for me. I kept going in 3, looking for some keys, and then needed to spend a key to keep going. So I was like, all right, well that's counterintuitive. Yeah, keys were really a huge thing for me. I got key blocked out of 5 twice. I thought maybe it was the recorder that was blocking me, so that's why I went back in, which that was nice because that got me a red ring. But man, I had to leave 8 for keys. Luckily, I saved. I bought a key. I went to 5, and then I was hoping to find a key on the way to the Triforce in 5, which I did, and then went back to 8. 8 was just so freaking annoying. I don't know if you guys did the path that I did, but I found the compass right away. Couldn't go. Found a staircase that took me right above the Triforce. Couldn't go. So it's just like, come on, you kidding me?
I actually found the staircase room before I found the compass, but yeah, same thing. It was a little funky.
At least the 11 heart magical sword was nice.
No magical sword here. I was wood.
I didn't have mags either, but I pushed forward in 7 a little bit. I wanted to get at least one item out of there because that was my 3rd dungeon, I think, and I only had hearts up to that point.
I know White's in there. I never found it though.
It was like 2 rooms down from the Triforest, 3 rooms down maybe.
Yeah, I was wood swording that whole shebang.
I tried at 10 since Mags was like basically on the start screen, and by the time I got the 11th heart, I said forget it. I left a heart in 2 in the stair. I felt like I was way behind. I was gonna go pick up the magic boomerang again just for TGE, but by the time I got the 11th, I really thought that I would lose.
Now that I got y'all here, all right, which one of you monsters is responsible for that?
It was like that when we got here, I swear.
I know this is you, Cam.
Well, it was like that at the beginning of this.
It's all Smash's fault. The guy who I said sucks on my opening screen.
To be fair, I mean, Fryteeth is partly to blame because if he hadn't beaten me last year in the finals, then he could have picked the flag, and I wouldn't have had to say it at all.
Lovely.
You should have pulled the recorder out of 8 in that seat.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. That was another good one. This one was fun. Like you needed everything. I guess recorder wasn't required.
It was.
It just was very helpful.
It was required. You needed to get through.
Dig Dogger in 5.
Triforce in 5.
You did have to go. I thought that the Triforce was through. Oh, it was through another Dig Dogger then. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you needed the ladder for sure. You needed the bow for sure. You needed the raft, the recorder, power bracelet. That's great.
You didn't need the silver arrows, but you did need the bow.
Right.
Yeah, you needed arrows, but you needed money for it, which I didn't have because I stupidly bought the book early and then never found the wand.
One's got to be a 9 because I never found it either. It was an 8.
Yeah,
It's
an 8. It was an 8.
I find it, but I got there was a hint shop up on Death Mountain, and they said the wand was an 8.
Yeah.
Yep, same here.
I saw the hint too, but I wasn't digging for it. By that point, I had everything that I needed. Just trying to get out of 8 as much as I could.
With how you all were for keys, I was wondering where the any key was going to end up.
I really wanted to find the any key. That's either the floor item in 7 or in 9.
Yeah, I think so. I think it has to be in that at this point.
Or 8.
Yeah.
An 8.
I didn't find the floor item in 8. I don't think either.
Didn't see
I wasn't sure if I found it and just was moving. On my tracker, I'm missing 7, 8 floor items. Well, I don't know if the wand is floor or the stair, and then the 2 items in 9 I didn't see.
Yeah, watching that, I thought you were going to have this long trek through 9, getting key blocked because y'all hadn't found any keys like all game, and then oops, there's Zelda.
Yeah, I stumbled right in there.
Yeah, I took kind of a stupid path. I don't know if I'm sure there was a better way to get there. I took a staircase that took me up to the top ear, and then like went through some garbage. Had to take a potion, and like hit 9 orange wizrobes on the way to Zelda.
Yeah, you could have bombed into her from the south.
Yeah, my 5 rooms.
Yep, 6 rooms for me.
Yeah, I was trying to save resources because I was pretty limited when I went in there, so that would have been nice. Oh well.
So I guess the big question now, since we've got you all here, Mr. Cab, do you know what you're making them deal with next week?
I'm leaning towards 1. It's nothing like horrible. I just know everybody hates it. Yeah, let's hide those dungeon numbers.
Ooh.
I didn't hear that. What?
High dungeon numbers. You're evil.
See, I like that flag.
Where was this mean? I was going to say, like, if this was like weeks ago and I was in a good mood, and I don't even mean because I lost, that's a whole nother story. I was leaning towards a coin flip between that and start on wood sword screen just to be nice, like if somebody got it right. But no, we're hiding the dungeon numbers now. This is 2020. Let's hide them.
Let's do it. I'm all about it. Let's do it.
I was really hoping you're gonna force Ganon.
So was I, because once I knew the silvers were in 4, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be great. And yeah, like you guys were saying, there's just no keys in the seed.
I mean, I was personally hoping you'd remove Magical Boomerang as a starting item, but that's just me.
I was really thinking about it, and honestly, if I could have had the wood boomerang override it, I'd do it. But yeah,
It's actually really convenient.
that's the problem. You need like a lot of. You need someone to give the wooden boomerang first, and then someone else can remove the magic boomerang.
Yeah, there's been some practice seeds that I've done with one heart, when especially since it's full start shuffle. The magic boomerang is actually like really, really convenient.
Yeah, but any boomerang would have been convenient. So we should have had the good boomerang.
Oh, but this one goes the full distance of the screen.
It takes that much longer. You won't know your dungeon numbers and you'll like it. Good day!
Thanks for the restream, guys. Thanks for tracking. No, that was fun. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I am going to warn you all now, if you go back and rewatch this, I'm dunking on everybody, and there's a bunch of horrible Pokemon book puns.
Awesome.
I'm mostly mad at myself for missnapping 4.
Yeah, that was the one right there. That was definitely the one.
It's always second quest 4. But, yeah.
Yeah, if that Silver's hint for isn't in 4, I take the Triforce and leave, and it's probably the last place I come back to.
Yeah, I only did it because it was on Death Mountain. I was like, I'm not coming back up here, not even one more time on this side.
I knew the power bracelet was up there, and I do have a actual full clear of the overworld here. That's that little pause when I will go into that last cave and say, wait, I thought this was the last, and I'm looking over the map and I see, oh, Ghost Raft spell.
But that was my last spot too. That was crazy.
Level 2 was my last spot.
Level 2 is my third to last spot. But at that point, I thought, oh, good. I got the power bracelet for a reason, because there's only 2 spots left. I'd completely forgotten the Ghost Raft spot.
I'm not going to lie. I was sitting there, and I say during the stream, like, I kind of want the line to be on a raft spot, but I want it to be on 4's raft spots so we can have raft required, but not be required because of the recorder. Almost got it.
Well, fellas, thank you. Have a good time, and GG, Mr. Cab.
Thank GG.
Thanks for the restream and tracking and commentary, and see everyone next week.
Thanks for putting on a good show for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more time, we'll give a shout out to our tracker and our restreamer behind the scenes, Crimson Avix being our restreamer, Trenton jumping in for our tracking. So I hope you guys are all ready, because we're not done here yet. We're going to send you off to Therwolf, who is fantastic when it comes to running Z1, Z2. Pick your poison. He's awesome. So we're going to send you all there. So on behalf of our behind-the-scenes crew here at Randomizer, that would be Crimson Avix and Trenton GL, and my broadcast partner in the booth, Dark Shadows 59. I am TGE, reminding everybody to, of course, as always, keep hailing.